everybody, it's Miss Karen, the Young Adult Librarian at the Goshen Public Library. I'm back again with another brand new box of books. It's not a very big box, but it's kind of a medium-sized box. So let's see what we've got this week. Alright, the very first book in this box is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. Get the box out of the way a little bit. Okay, so I don't know, maybe realistic fiction, maybe not. Cemetery Boys sounds like it could have some fantasy. Looks like from the cover there's a little bit of something a little spooky in there. So let's see. Cemetery Boys. Yadriel has summoned a ghost, and now he can't get rid of him. When his traditional Latinx family has problems accepting his gender, Yadriel becomes determined to prove himself a real brujo. With the help of his cousin and best friend, Maritza, he performs the Quinces ritual himself, and then sets out to find the ghost of his murdered cousin Miguel and set it free. However, the ghost he summons is actually Julian Diaz, the school's resident bad boy. And Julian is not about to go quietly into death. He's determined to find out what happened and tie up some loose ends before he leaves. Left with no choice, Yadriel agrees to help Julian so that they can both get what they want. But the longer Yadriel spends with Julian, the less he wants him to leave. So, Cemetery Boys. Sounds like it might have some romance in it. Some ghosts, ghost stories, and things like that. And I apologize ahead of time because I am sure that I did not pronounce all of those names correctly. But I did my best. So if that sounds like something you want to check out Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. Let's see what we have next. Next we have Making Friends with Alice Dyson by Poppy Wosu. Again, I'm sorry. I'm sure I mispronounced that last name. So Making Friends with Alice Dyson. Looks like realistic fiction, maybe some romance. Let's see. Alice Dyson knows exactly how she'll spend her final year of high school. Head down, avoiding all attention while concentrating on her work and her perfect plans for the future. That is, until a silly, out-of-character moment with Teddy Tuala, the school's notorious troublemaker, goes viral, derailing her plans and pushing her into the spotlight. Suddenly, Alice's quiet, orderly life has turned into an improvised dance of beach trips, museum visits, and parties. And the worst part? Teddy is everywhere she turns, and always one step ahead. Poppy Wosu's pitch-perfect debut novel explores the ever-tricky dance of staying true to yourself, while opening your heart to the queasy, disorienting power of first love, as it sweeps you up and spins you away from your carefully choreographed life. So definitely realistic fiction with some romance mixed in. So check out Making Friends with Alice Dyson by Poppy Wosu. And again, I apologize. I'm sure that I'm pronouncing these names wrong. Apparently this box is full of challenges for me today. Next we have Grown by Tiffany Jackson. All right. We have several books by Tiffany Jackson, so if you like her, you might want to check out Grown. Corey Fields is dead. When Enchanted Jones wakes up with blood on her hands and zero memory of the previous night, no one, the police and Corey's fans included, has more questions than she does. All she really knows is that this isn't how things are supposed to be. Corey was Enchanted's ticket to stardom. Before there was a dead body, Enchanted was an aspiring singer, struggling with her tight-knit family's recent move to the suburbs, while trying to find her place as one of the few black girls in high school. But then legendary R&B artist Corey Fields spots her at an audition, and suddenly her dream of being a professional singer takes flight. Enchanted is dazzled by Corey's luxurious life, but soon her dream turns into a nightmare. Behind Corey's charm and star power lurks a dark side, one that wants to control her every move with rage and consequences. Except now he's dead, and the police are at the door. Who killed Corey Fields? All signs point to Enchanted. Award-winning author Tiffany Jackson delivers another riveting, ripped-from-the-headlines mystery that exposes horrific secrets hiding behind the limelight and the power of a young woman's voice. So, Grown is a mystery, also realistic fiction, but mystery nonetheless. So check out Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. Next, we get into some fantasy with Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Legendborn is the first of what I believe will be a trilogy, but I suppose it's possible it's just a duology. But it is the first of a series. After her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family memories or childhood home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill sounds like a perfect escape until Bree witnesses a magical attack her very first night on campus. A flying demon feeding on human energy. A secret society of so-called legend-born students who hunt the creatures down. And a mysterious teenage mage who calls himself a Merlin and who attempts, and fails, to wipe Bree's memory of everything she saw. The mage's failure reveals Bree's own unique magic and a buried memory with a hidden connection. The night her mother died, another Merlin was at the hospital. Now that Bree knows there's more to her mother's death than what's on the police report, she'll do whatever it takes to find out the truth, even if that means infiltrating the Legendborn as one of their initiates. She recruits Nick, a self-exiled Legendborn with his own grudge against the group, and their reluctant partnership pulls them deeper into the society's secrets and closer to each other. But when the Legendborn reveal themselves as the descendants of King Arthur's knights and explain that a magical war is coming, Bree has to decide how far she'll go for the truth and whether she should use her magic to take the society down or join the fight. So Legendborn is epic fantasy. It's a Camelot retelling, so if you like King Arthur, you might want to check this one out. It sounds really interesting and exciting. So check out Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Okay, next we have We Are Not Free by Tracy Chee. And I believe this one, if I remember correctly from when I ordered it, might be historical fiction. Let's see. What do you do when the only home you've ever known is taken from you? Following the attack on Pearl Harbor, 14 Japanese-American teens find their lives irrevocably changed. Registration, curfew, eviction, incarceration. As World War II roars on around them, these teens must ask themselves what it means to be free Americans when their own country has imprisoned them. 14 teens who have grown up together in Japantown, San Francisco. 14 teens who form a community and a family, as interconnected as they are conflicted. 14 teens whose lives are turned upside down when over 100,000 people of Japanese ancestry are removed from their homes and forced into desolate incarceration camps. In a world that seems determined to hate them, they must rally together as racism and injustice threaten to pull them apart. So We Are Not Free looks back at the Japanese incarceration camps during World War II in this country. So if you are interested in reading more about that period in history and how it relates to teenagers, you might want to check out We Are Not Free by Tracy Chee. And next we have Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. Blood and Honey is the second book in a series. The first book is called Serpent and Dove. So if you read Serpent and Dove, Blood and Honey is the next book in that series. We do have the book Serpent and Dove here at the library. It is currently checked out. It is also available on Overdrive. So I will tell you what it is about, so you can decide if you're interested in reading it. This is what the cover of Serpent and Dove looks like. And it is available on Overdrive to borrow, so you can check it out online. Let's see, Serpent and Dove. Bound as one to love, honor, or burn. Book one of a stunning fantasy duology. So Blood and Honey is the last one. So if you want to read both of them, you can read them both at the same time. Or one right after the other, sorry. Let's see. Book 1 of a stunning fantasy duology, this tale of witchcraft and forbidden love is perfect for fans of Kendari Blake and Sarah Holland. 2 years ago, Louise LeBlanc fled her coven and took shelter in the city of Cicerine, forsaking all magic and living off whatever she could steal. There, witches like Lou are hunted. They are feared and they are burned. As a huntsman of the church, Reed Diggory has lived his life by one principle: thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. But when Lou pulls a wicked stunt, the two are forced into an impossible situation: marriage. Lou, unable to ignore her growing feelings, yet powerless to change what she is, must make a choice, and love makes fools of us all. Set in a world of powerful women, dark magic, and off-the-charts romance, Book 1 of this stunning fantasy duology will leave readers burning for more. So if Serpent and Dove sounds good to you, check that one out first, and then you can read Blood and Honey, which is the conclusion of the duology. So both books are available now. So if you don't like to read a series until everything is out, you are in luck because we have them both. You can read Serpent and Dove online, or you can put it on hold in the catalog and when the actual book comes back, or you can get it from another library so you can read the actual book. Right, so what's next? Next we have Punching the Air by Ibi Zoboi and Yusuf Salam. This looks realistic to me. The story that I thought was my life didn't start on the day I was born. Amal Shahid has always been an artist and a poet, but even in his diverse art school, because of a biased system, he's seen as disruptive and unmotivated. Then one fateful night, an altercation in a gentrifying neighborhood escalates into tragedy. Boys just being boys turns out to be true only when those boys are white. The story that I think will be my life starts today. Suddenly, at just 16 years old, Amal is convicted of a crime he didn't commit and sent to prison. Despair and rage almost sink him until he turns to the refuge of his words, his art. This never should have been his story, but can he change it? With spellbinding lyricism, award-winning author Ibi Zoboi and prison reform activist Yusuf Salam tell a moving and deeply profound story about how one boy is able to maintain his humanity and fight for the truth in a system designed to strip him of both. So this is realistic fiction, very timely for the times we're living in. It also has art in it, so you can see poetry and art. It is a book written in verse, so if you like to read books in verse, this might be something you want to check out. So, see, it's got pictures, it's got poetry. It's even got some concrete type poetry where the poem is written to make a shape, that sort of thing. So it's a very interesting format. Looks like a great book, and like I said, very timely. So if you're interested in something like this, you want to check out Punching the Air by Ibi Zoboi and Yusuf Salam. And again, I apologize if I'm pronouncing the names incorrectly. Today is just not my day when it comes to that. So next we have Grey Thorn by Crystal Smith. Now, Grey Thorn is the second book in the Bloodleaf series. So this is Bloodleaf by Crystal Smith. This is Grey Thorn, also by Crystal Smith, the second one. They look nothing alike. I don't know why they changed the covers, but they do belong together. The new cover of Bloodleaf, paperback cover, matches this new cover. That's what it looks like now. But I still have the old one, which looks like this. I promise they do go together. So I'm going to tell you what Bloodleaf is about. Bloodleaf is a fairy tale retelling. I talked about it over the summer when we did our Imagine Your Story fairy tale retellings. Bloodleaf is the retelling of the Goose Girl, I believe. So, let's see. Princess Aurelia is a prisoner to her crown and the heir that nobody wants. Surrounded by spirits and banned from using her blood magic, Aurelia must flee her country after a devastating assassination attempt. Her only option for freedom lies with another warden, her betrothed, Princess Valentin. To escape her fate, Aurelia disguises herself as a commoner in a new land and discovers a happiness her crown has never allowed. As she forges new bonds and perfects her magic, she begins to fall for a man who is forbidden to rule beside her. But the ghosts that haunt Aurelia refuse to abandon her, and she finds herself succumbing to their call as they expose a nefarious plot that only she can defeat. Will she be forced to choose between the weight of the crown and the freedom of her new life? So it's definitely epic fantasy. Lots of magic, witches, ghosts, all sorts of supernatural stuff. So if you're interested, you can check out Bloodleaf. And then the second one, Grey Thorn by Crystal Smith, is available now. So you can read them both. And the very last book in my box is called By the Book by Amanda Sellett. This looks like romance. She knows how all the stories end except her own. As a devotee of classic novels, Mary Porter Malcolm is a walking encyclopedia of mistakes that have been made, especially by her favorite literary heroines. So when some new friends seem in danger of falling for the same tricks employed since the days of Austen and Tolstoy, Mary starts compiling the Scoundrel's Survival Guide, using archetypes of literature's debonair bad boys to spot red flags in the dating department. But despite her best efforts, she soon finds herself falling for a supposed cad, the same one she warned her friends away from. Without a convenient, rain-swept moor to flee to, Mary is forced to admit that real life doesn't follow the same rules as fiction, and if she wants a happy ending, she's going to have to ditch the books and write it herself. So this is definitely a romance. Also, if you are a fan of classics, I'm guessing that this has a lot of referrals to classic novels like Pride and Prejudice and Wuthering Heights and books like that. So you might want to check out By the Book by Amanda Sellett if you're looking for a break from reading what you're reading for school. This sounds like a good romance, quick read to check out. So that is my latest box of books. I hope you found something that interests you. You can put these on hold in the catalog. You can email me or call me and I will put them on hold for you. You can come into the library now and check them out yourself, whatever you prefer. And I hope to see you guys soon, and I will be back before you know it with another brand new box of books. Bye.